All right, guys, welcome. We are live.
Hello.
So yeah, hope you guys are doing
Happy Monday evening.
well. I know today I was just doing a lesson. I thought it was Tuesday for some reason, just completely thought like a whole
Just
day had gone by.
jumped over it.
Yeah, really.
I know it's really hard to think of what day it is. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, oh, okay, it's still Monday. I thought I was done with Monday.
Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of funny because like once Friday hits, I'm like excited for the weekend in a certain way. But then by Sunday, I'm like, I can't wait to, start teaching again, just like having something to do that isn't, nothing, because I don't do anything the weekend anymore. But I actually wanted to ask you because you said you're going to do your Notre Dame puzzle this weekend. Did you get started on that?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, so I did not. It's actually just sitting right here.
Uh-huh.
It's right here. Uh, so I still have it in the
Oh,
box.
that's cool.
Um, so I was just talking to one of our students who's half French about that. But no, this weekend I actually ended up doing some work, helping out with something, and then also I was doing some painting and drawing. So
I see. Okay,
it
so
was okay.
you're so productive. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm keeping that's for a rainy day.
Cool. Yeah, well,
Like
today
when
it's
I
a
need
bit
to do
rainy, I
something.
guess.
A rainy day that I'm not working.
Yeah. Great. Well,
And
fantastic.
what about
And
you? Did you do much for the
oh
weekend?
no, I didn't really do anything. It's like so funny. It was like yesterday, and I like can't remember like what it was. I did a little bit of Dutch. I guess like that was like the most productive thing I did. I have this workbook that I'm working on now.
Nice.
Did some like we cleaned the house. That's pretty much about it. Then just like played some PlayStation and like watched Netflix.
Nice. Okay, cool. And we have a couple of people starting to say hello. So we have Walter. Hello, Walter. Welcome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that picture. It's very relevant. Like that's like a real mask.
I know, I know. His picture, he told me before, it's a musician, I think. So it's not actually him, but
Oh,
and
I
then we
see.
have Marcello from Sicily, but he lives in
Yeah,
Legnano.
I remember him as well. So awesome, guys.
Excellent.
Yeah, anyone else who is able to comment? We see that there are 9 of you watching right now. You do need a Google account to leave the comments, but if you can, it's always nice to know who you are, etc., etc. And Walter says that he actually just passed the checkpoint. Very nice, fantastic. So now you're a beginner
Well done,
too.
Walter.
Wonderful.
Excellent. I am not surprised that you passed. Like, I'm sure that was an easy pass because having had you in a lot of 1 to 3 webinars, you've done amazing. So, welcome to level 4.
I see. So Walter, he was doing the 1, 2, 3 before.
Exactly. And he was studying a lot. So,
Cool.
he was studying a lot.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it was you that I was talking with last week, but I've been quite surprised by everyone's performances in the revisions. And well, I haven't done a checkpoint yet, but I did a few revisions, and I was a little bit worried because I
Yeah.
thought not having been to the school for the last 2 months, it would be a bit difficult maybe to remember all the information, but everyone performed so great. Everyone passed with flying colors, as we say. So
Yeah, it's true.
cool.
Excellent. And we have Antonio. You're not from Tokyo.
Yeah, you're definitely not
And
from Tokyo.
not with that
Antonio,
name.
I see you
And
in
then
every level. I remember having you for 8 to 10. Then I had you for 1 to 3 the other day. What is
just
your
studying
level?
all the levels. Um, I don't know if this is your name, Zudra. Maybe that's just a username, but hello anyway. And Valeria from Italy. Okay, somewhere in Italy. And then Gabriella, I think, is one of our students. Am I right?
Yeah, Gabriel Scaturro, definitely. She's definitely one of our students.
Excellent. Fantastic. Wow,
So
we have lots of
awesome,
people.
guys.
It's great.
Yeah.
So I guess we better
And
practice some English.
I guess you guys know us by now. It's I think it's maybe the 10th week of webinars. So
Oh God.
yeah, it's crazy, right, to think about it. But in case you don't, I guess you can see our names on the screen right there. We're
No,
colleagues.
here.
We work at one of the schools here in Milan. My name is Thiago. I work in Milano Meravigli, which is our central school. I'm 29. I am originally from Brazil, but I've spent quite some time in California growing up. And I've been with my yes since 2016.
Excellent. And I'm Lisa. So obviously, as you can see here, and I'm from Ireland. I'm also 29. And I've been living in Italy for 2.5 years and working with my ES since last year. But yeah, so I'm happy to see so many people with us this evening. And we have Amina from Turin as well. Fantastic.
Cool.
Welcome. Amazing.
Great,
Okay,
guys.
great.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you all for joining. So let me just put our activity here on the screen. So as you can see, we don't have the happiest of topics for today, but it is one of those that it's good to have the vocabulary for because, if you find yourself in another country and you do need to speak to a doctor, you probably will have to do it in English. That is your best bet, probably. So it's nice to, have some vocab, etc. So we'll be
Yeah,
looking into
it's
that.
it can really, really happen. Like I don't know about you, Thiago, but when I travel, a lot of the time I get sick.
Oh, really?
um, Yeah, so I've been in this situation before I even moved to Italy and I couldn't speak Italian. I needed to go to a pharmacy, to the doctor. And then it's happened to me when I traveled in New York. Obviously, there I could speak English, so it was okay. It's happened to me in Spain. I ended up in the hospital. So
Oh,
maybe
God.
I'm just unlucky, but
Well, the most traumatizing, though, would probably be New York just because of the bill you would get afterward.
oh my God, everything is so
It's
expensive.
so expensive. Oh my gosh. I remember when I was in college, I had to go. This was back, there was another epidemic. It was during the swine flu, the
Ah,
H1N1
yes.
in 2009. And this was before the vaccine, so we had a bit of a quarantine system in place if you had symptoms. And so,
Mhm.
anyway, I kind of had some symptoms and then I kind of got worse one night. So they decided to take me to the hospital. And that was my first time, without my parents paying for insurance. I was kind of like, paying for my own at that point. And I mean, 2 hours in the hospital, all they did was to do a test. I paid with insurance. I think I ended up paying something around like $2,000. And this is with insurance, just out of pocket because you have to pay for the
Oh my
ambulance,
God.
you have to pay the hospital bill, and then you also have to pay for the doctor separately. So yeah, it's really no
Wow.
fun.
Okay, no, well, definitely because I didn't have to go to the hospital, but I went to a doctor and
Uh-huh.
yeah, but even at that, yeah, God, I can imagine. That's crazy.
Mhm.
Um, okay. So yeah, don't get sick in New York, guys.
Don't get sick in the States, guys. It's like, when this whole thing started, my parents, because my parents are actually back in Brazil now. So they were like, oh, you like just maybe can you come back home since you can work online? Maybe come home, just to be safe or like to go back to the States. And I was like, listen, like between Trump and Bolsonaro, like I am happy in Italy. Like I
Stay
think they're
here.
actually
Stay here.
managing it pretty well. Like I'm just gonna stay here.
Yeah,
It's
Sean was saying that this morning too. Sean was saying he's like, I'm much safer, and in terms of
yeah,
medical, it's safer here.
definitely.
Okay, we also have so Massimo has joined us, and Eulalia, sorry, I can never say, and Selene as well. Fantastic.
Great,
Okay.
guys. All right, so let's get started here. Okay, Lisa, could you maybe read the objectives that we have for today?
Yeah, of course. So in this webinar, guys, what we're going to do, so we're going to practice some vocabulary about describing, so different illnesses, different things that are wrong. Okay, so some different vocabulary for visiting the doctor. Then explaining, so how you explain a problem, because we have specific ways that we describe things, different verbs that we use. And then just understanding the doctor's advice. Okay, so some vocabulary related to the types of advice, because a lot of the time they can be the same. From a pharmacy, from a doctor, they can be the same types of advice.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to get started with a couple jokes. Maybe if you guys don't know what a joke is. So this is a bit different because I notice Italians sometimes get a joke mixed up with like some kind of game because
Play,
it's
exactly.
gioco. But so in English, a joke, guys, it's not a game. It is kind of like it's usually a fictional story. So something you invent, okay, and you tell people, and it makes them laugh. Okay, so that's a joke. Story, sort of, that makes people laugh. So I think you understand once you see this. So we have the patient who says, "Doctor, doctor, I think I need glasses." The doctor
Okay.
says,
Yes, you do. This is a hotel.
there you go. That's a joke. Not a great one, but that's a joke.
Yeah. Also
Uh,
because we have a special doctor who, for glasses anyway. So we
yeah,
have an eye
exactly.
doctor. So you're also at the wrong doctor.
Exactly. And then here we have another one. So the doctor
Uh,
says, "You are very sick."
can I have a second opinion?
"Yes, you're very ugly too." God, this is mean. It's just horrible.
Yeah, it's very terrible.
Yeah, I'm not
Obviously,
sure if in Italian you guys say a second opinion like that. But a second opinion is if you go to a doctor and you get a diagnosis, especially when it's like something quite serious, you want to maybe go to another doctor to see if you get the same diagnosis. So
exactly,
that's what we say. But obviously here they took it
exactly.
like an extra opinion.
Yeah, and sometimes they might send you to a specialist, like
Hmm.
a specialist doctor. They'll say, I'm referring you to a specialist for a second opinion as well, just because maybe it's not their area or it's a specific type of problem.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, this is just to get started. So, guys, here are some body parts that's useful to be able to use when describing things to a doctor. So I'm gonna ask Lisa to maybe read the list, and then in the meantime, guys, if you could just tell us the letter and the part it matches, that would be great.
Exactly. Yeah, so just matching up the letter and the different body parts. So the list is, so we have arm, head, leg, foot, hand, back, knee, and elbow. Okay, elbow. Okay, so guys, you can match them up in the comments. So match the body part to the letter.
Mhm. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be in order, okay? For example, if you don't know A, just give us B. Just tell us what you know.
Mhm. Perfect. Okay, so I think some people are starting to come in, those.
Hmm.
So we'll give you a chance. So yeah, I think some of these, like, we can also go through how we describe the problems that we have with them.
Yeah, all right, guys. Really nice job. They're on fire today. So yeah, A, definitely, that would be your elbow. Fantastic.
Elbow.
Okay. Then we have B, exactly. It would be your arm.
Perfect.
Do we have anyone C? Yeah, his back.
Okay, Selena has them all there as well. And Marcelo,
Mhm.
excellent. And
Nicely
D,
done,
so
guys.
Marcelo has it,
He
and
has it.
also
Let's see
Selena,
B. Okay, great. So
Valeria.
B. Who is your foot?
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, for foot, keep in mind we have an irregular plural as well. Okay, so feet. Foot, one foot, but both feet.
Feet.
H, we have, wait, I was going around. Yes, we're
Yeah,
back
I
to
know.
E now.
Good. Down
Uh,
and back.
yeah, I was just like following like counterclockwise.
Yeah.
E is, of course, the head. F,
Excellent.
we've got the hand, great. G, do we have G? Yep, perfect.
Okay, so yeah,
Knee
has it there, the
with
knee.
the silent K. We don't say knee, but knee. And then finally, H, we have the leg. Cool.
Perfect.
Um,
Okay.
and let us know, guys, if there are other body parts that you know, especially body parts that you might have to tell a doctor about. Okay, for example, one
Exactly.
that I can definitely think of is, for example, if you eat something that is not good for you, this part of your body is going to bother you. It's going to hurt a little bit. That's a common one.
Exactly. And
Uh,
then also there's one that so I'm not pointing at this part of my body, but in here, sometimes if you're sick, there's sometimes you have a problem here. So I
mhm.
don't know if anyone knows, it's a bit difficult, but if anyone knows how you call this, so on the inside. Okay, so let us know. Um but yeah, maybe we get to it later, but we can also talk about how we describe some of the problems that we have with these body parts.
Hmm. Exactly. So if you know anything, guys, let us know. Just write it down. Sometimes we do have a bit of a delay in the comments, so it might take a minute, but just write it and we will have a quick look. Okay. All right. We're going to just move on to the next slide in the meantime, just to look at some language. I have Valeria's shoulder. We also have the song, right? Your shoulder. Yeah, this is my shoulder. One shoulder. This is my
Excellent.
shoulders. Yeah,
Really
very
good.
good.
Yeah, the shoulders. That's a difficult one. Really good.
Okay.
Okay. So,
So yeah, so a doctor might ask you when you come in, they might say, "Where does it hurt?" Okay, where does it
mhm.
hurt? So where do you feel pain? Is basically what the question is. And then we would say here, Lisa, how can we answer that?
So, for example, we could maybe say like my head hurts. Okay, or my back hurts.
Hmm.
Maybe depending on the problem.
Exactly. And then, of course, we use the S in the end because it's basically it, right? My head, my foot, whatever. But if it's plural, then, it goes back to being kind of just the base form without the S. For instance, if maybe my eyes, right? I say my
Mm,
eyes hurt. Okay,
exactly.
without,
Eyes hurt.
yeah. Zoda, she also said fingers. It's another good
Yeah,
one.
really good. Excellent. And remember, guys, on our feet, we do not call them fingers. We have
Yeah,
toes.
it's a good one.
It's different. I know it's similar in Italian, but it's different in English. We have toes on our feet and fingers on our hands.
Yeah. Okay, so the first question might be this one. So where does it hurt? And then you can tell the part of the body where it hurts. And then how much does it hurt?
Excellent. So, how much does it hurt? So, talking about the amount of pain. So, one here, there is no pain. Okay, then there's nothing wrong. No pain. Okay, or it hurts a little. Okay, a little. It hurts a little, just a bit, just a bit. Or it hurts a lot. Okay, so we have quite a lot of pain there, quite a bit of pain. And then I am in severe pain. Okay, so then you've got a really big problem. I'm in
Mhm.
severe pain. Okay, so that's a big problem if you're in severe pain.
Yeah, exactly. We have some nice examples there. We have here, my knee hurts perfectly, only one knee. So we use the S
Mhm.
in the end. And Eulalia also has a good one. My thumb hurts. So that is a specific finger, the one that Lisa's showing you guys there. So my
Yeah.
thumb.
And that can happen actually. For example, if any of you are working from home, you can get a pain in your thumb from using your mouse. You can get a pain in your thumb from using it too much. That happened to my brother.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then here it said in terms of so my said my knee hurts and it hurts a lot. Exactly.
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 And just, I don't know if, so for example, the one that I was talking about here. So sometimes if you're a bit sick, okay, so if you have a cold or a flu, sometimes you get a sore throat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I could say I have a sore throat because sore is like painful. Okay, sore throat. So I could say my throat hurts. Okay, so sore throat. Or I could say I have a sore throat. Okay, my throat hurts. I
Exactly.
have a sore throat.
Yeah, and this is a really common adjective that we use as well. Sore. If you say something is sore, two really big ones is sore or ache. Right? We
Mm,
talk about a headache, a stomach ache, a toothache. And the biggest difference between an ache and a sore is that an ache, you have no control. It just hurts no matter what you do. But a sore, it tends to be, it's related to your movement. Okay, so a sore throat only hurts when I swallow. If I make this movement, it hurts. If I go to the gym and I lift weights, see, the next day I might have sore muscles, but again, only if I stretch, if I move them. But if you're just sitting still, it shouldn't hurt. That's the big difference there.
exactly. And Ami has a really good example as well. So where does it hurt? My knee hurts. How much does it hurt? It hurts a little. Okay,
Exactly.
so not much. Really good.
You guys have a lot of knee problems, it seems. uh, Perfect example. Exactly. Doctor, I have a little ear ache. Yeah, see, an ear ache, you don't have control. It just always hurts. It's
Mhm.
actually a terrible type. Have you ever had an ear ache, Lisa?
Yeah, it's awful.
Awful. Yeah.
Kind of sometimes after like a flu or something is like afterwards you have like an earache sometimes. So yeah, it's terrible.
I remember it feeling like a knife. It was just
Yeah.
unbearable.
Yeah, that and when you get a really bad toothache,
Toothache as well. Yeah, those are
you're
really
really
bad.
bad. I remember when my wisdom teeth were coming in, it was terrible. Terrible pain. Like I would say I was in severe pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Valeria has a good question. Is it correct if I say my ears hurt? You're absolutely right, because you're talking about both of them. So if both of them hurt, then yes, my ears hurt. If it's only one,
Exactly.
which I think is more common, it's usually just one, my ear hurts. I can't imagine having an earache on both ears.
Yeah. But it's true. But you could say like my ears hurt maybe from after if you listen to music too loud,
Sure, yes.
something like this, but only a little, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
cool guys. Yeah, any other examples? Keep them coming. Another one, I guess it can be good. I guess we sort of mentioned stomach, so stomach
Hmm.
ache, or some people will say tummy as well. Tummy is like, I guess it's kind of like what kids say, but people say it in general too. Like I have a tummy ache.
I know, yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny, but
Yeah, why do
yeah,
we
we
keep
we
that? I definitely say tummy a lot.
I know
Stomach or
I don't know
tummy.
why. I think it's kind of like because when you feel sick, you start like
You're
thinking
like a
like a
baby.
child. Yeah. So, oh, my tummy hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right,
excellent.
in here we have some different problems. So what's wrong? So see, uh, if we can maybe match. So here, this time I guess I can read the list, and you guys just tell us, just like you did before, what this is, what they represent. So we have a broken leg, a stomach ache, a cut, earache, headache, hay fever, fever, and a cold.
Perfect. Okay, so lots of different problems. Okay, so you can just match them to the letter. Some of these pictures are not nice.
Oh god, that H right there, like seeing stitches for some reason just gives me like that feeling when you're
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah, there's certain things. Maybe also we could explain a couple of them.
Hmm.
Although, no, wait, we'll wait until they actually, until, because otherwise we'll give away the answers.
All right, so
Okay.
Ami, yes, a stomach ache, definitely.
Tummy ache,
I
excellent.
or tummy ache, exactly. And I've always, I guess, I've spelled that all together as well. I guess I wouldn't really separate it. Just like earache, headache. Do you write
A
them
dash.
separate?
Yeah,
You put a dash.
sometimes people put a dash, but you can see here earache is all together.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe I don't know, unless that's just a typo.
Yeah, it could be as well. Yeah. Marcello, perfect. So B, I have a fever.
Fever. And
Yeah.
one thing as well, so a fever is quite severe. Okay, so if you have the flu, you have a fever. So it's really, really high. But if we just feel a little bit hot, okay, so maybe you have a cold, it's not so severe, you might just have a temperature. Okay, a temperature. So yeah, so a fever is like really, really strong, really, really hot. But sometimes you're just a little bit hot. We say I have a temperature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see a lot of you guys are skipping C, yeah, because that one is a bit more obscure.
Yeah.
That is something that these days, actually today it's been much better, but hay fever,
Mm.
and that,
And
oops, just move this.
maybe,
Yeah.
no problem. Maybe it's not clear as well in the picture. It's a flower. So it's a flower because I know sometimes you look at that picture and you're like, what is it?
What is like
So,
fire?
yeah.
Exactly. So
Okay,
hay
really
fever are
good.
basically allergies that you get, especially in the spring from pollen from
Hmm.
flowers and plants.
Hmm.
That's hay fever.
So
Does
you
anyone?
suffer from hay fever as well?
Yeah, I started I think about 4 years ago or so. I didn't before, and then just
Okay.
suddenly developed it.
Yeah, I'm strange. Like I don't get it all the time, but then sometimes I do. So
Yeah. Do we have D? Oh yes, we have D there. Broken leg. Perfect. E. Does anyone have E? Yes.
not yet.
Eulalia had it before.
Ah,
That would
okay.
be a headache. Fantastic.
Exactly. And a more severe version of that. So if it's really, really bad, you can sometimes have a migraine. Okay, a
Mm,
migraine.
that's a nice one. Okay. Uh, G. Very nice there. Celine. We have an earache.
Excellent. Okay, really good.
And then H, yeah, we have a terrible looking cut.
Mm, very terrible.
Perfect. Yeah, I guess it could be a good idea to also discuss. Here we go. Yeah, it does. Because I know there's like one that we do with the higher levels. I never remember which one is goes with what. But so obviously, if you have these problems, we need some solutions. And so you might, tell your doctor, I need, or maybe I guess if you're saying I need, maybe more like at a pharmacy than your doctor, because your doctor will tell you what you need. But if you go to
Hmm.
pharmacy, you might say, I need, and then Lisa, can you read this list?
Yes, okay. So these are some things you might need. So antibiotics. Okay, so antibiotics, medicine, antihistamine. It's very hard to say. Antihistamine, plaster cast, painkillers, and bandage. Okay. So these are different things. So maybe in this case, you can practice. So what do you need for the different problems? Okay, so what would you need in that case? So you can put that in a sentence.
Yeah, so
Um,
Marcelo has here, I need, yeah. So just medicine is actually uncountable. So the word itself is uncountable. So it would say, I need medicine, or I need some medicine, some type of medicine. Okay, so just don't need the article there, but good job. I need, yeah, medicine for your stomach, like maybe even more specific actually, because medicine is quite general. There could be a better one now that I think of it.
uh, so we'll see if anyone comes up with it.
Yeah, because I guess medicine is more when you need to cure something.
Hmm.
Whereas
Yeah,
this,
it's
when
true.
you have a stomach ache, it's more something that you need to alleviate. You need to not feel so much. So there's something we
Hmm.
can take that makes us not feel as much of the. Can't say
Exactly
the
what
word.
we're feeling. Yeah. Okay, excellent. So Leolelia has antihistamine for hay fever. Okay, exactly.
Yes.
So if you have hay fever, you need to get an antihistamine. Okay. And sometimes we often say with hay fever because it's something that is continuous and because you have it every year. So sometimes we might say, I suffer from hay fever.
Mm-hmm.
I suffer from hay fever. Like also someone who has asthma, for example, they would say, I suffer from. Okay, so you would constantly be taking.
Yeah, so good guess, Eulalia, for the broken leg, but we need something a little bit stronger. A bandage is something quite small. It's more, yeah, if I have like, yeah, I can't say the word, otherwise I'll give you the answer. But for something like really small, maybe I'll use a bandage or even like I think you got it perfect, exactly. So a cast. You don't need to say plaster cast necessarily. Plaster is the material, like the gesso part, but you can just say cast as well. It's fine. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, and then I'm not sure which Selena has said I need an antibiotic, but I don't know if that was in reference to A, but I think maybe that's too strong. Too strong for a stomach ache, if that is it. Okay. Antibiotics are used for the fever.
I guess antibiotics,
Okay.
I think the best one for antibiotics would be probably a severe cold.
Mm,
Because see the fever, that's also, it's mostly a reaction of the body to try to kill something, right? So it's not the disease itself. And so we wouldn't take, especially an antibiotic, which is there to kill something that is alive. But maybe the fever is a sign that you have something that requires antibiotic. That's definitely possible. But in fact, that's even medication that lowers the fever. In some ways, it's not the best because it can be quite helpful in determining what's happening to you.
yeah, it's true.
Uh,
Um, a really good example here. So Marcelo has said, I
yes.
have a cut. I need a bandage. Excellent. Okay, really good. And also, so I don't know if you ever use a Thiago, but sometimes we call a bandage or a band-aid, we call it a plaster as well, a plaster.
Yeah, definitely. I've always said Band-Aid, but yeah, definitely
Yeah.
plaster. And that's like because Band-Aid is a brand. Oh, and I hope this video
Yeah.
doesn't get taken down. No. Sometimes like you mention brands and then it's like, oh, you violated some rule or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Have we almost all of them?
Yeah, I think we've pretty much got all of them. We still need one for stomachache and a headache.
Okay. Well, actually, in that case, they're the same remedy. Is that
Yeah.
giving away?
Yeah, so you have a stomachache and a headache. What are you feeling? So if I say my stomach hurts, my head hurts, so I am feeling some, and that should really help you guys. Because hurt is the verb,
Mm.
and we have a noun. All right, so we're just gonna. Here we go. Valeria, perfect. Yes, painkillers.
Excellent.
Yeah, because the noun is pain. That's the hurt is the verb. The noun's the pain. You kill the pain. I think in Italian it's an anti-pain. That's like what they call it.
Exactly. Really good. Excellent,
Yeah,
guys. And Selena
cool.
got it too. Fantastic. Okay. And just to mention, I don't think it came up in the vocabulary, but just there, I went like like this, and that is called a cough. Okay. If
Yeah,
anyone doesn't, so a cough. Okay. So sometimes you might say, I have a bad cough, or I have a little cough, depending. Okay.
yeah.
So
Notice the spelling is a bit strange because you have that GH there, kind of like enough. So it's a f
mm,
sound.
f-
Off. All right. Here,
excellent.
Lily, I have a fever. I need some antibiotics, and maybe you need some antibiotics. Exactly. Yeah, I always get so paranoid because like I'm like so worried about us like building this resistance to antibiotics, and I'm just like,
I
yeah, maybe
know.
not. Are you sure you need some?
Yeah, I don't like to take them as well because usually if I've had to take antibiotics because I've been too sick,
Yeah,
I it takes me a really long time to get better.
yeah, and then also have to remember to always like finish the whole box, which
Mm.
is like something that I'm always terrified of, like forgetting. Once I get better, I'm not thinking about my symptoms anymore. So I really try to avoid it as well. Okay, so here, guys, we have a conversation. So first, before we put it in order, let's just decide who is speaking. So if you look at one, for instance, I have a stomachache and a fever. So who would say this? The doctor or the patient?
Okay, so let us know. You can just write the number and then doctor
Mhm.
or patient.
Exactly. And then we can alternate reading them just for
Yeah,
pronunciation. So, okay, so I did the first one. So I have a stomachache and a fever.
exactly. And then number two, it hurts a lot. Okay,
Great.
it hurts a lot.
3 is take these antibiotics, take them twice a day for 5 days. Don't eat spicy food and don't drink alcohol.
Okay. And then number four, you don't look well. What's the problem?
And then number 5, how much pain do you have?
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so there's some good phrases in here that we hear with the doctor and also in the pharmacy. So first of all, just let us know. Fantastic.
Is it used in English? Yeah, you can say a seasonal virus, definitely. Yeah. Seasonal virus, seasonal flu, seasonal bug. They're like different things we say. Yeah. Then
Okay.
3 and 4, we got here doctor. Okay, fantastic. Oh, and number 5 as well. Selene. Cool. Awesome, guys.
Excellent. Really good job.
And then now, if thought I was going to give us the directions. Could we put this in the correct order now? Wait,
Okay.
is that how it works? It does work like that, right? Yeah, okay, perfect.
I think
Yes.
it works out.
Yeah, because usually like it tells us, and I'm like, wait, yeah. So,
No,
guys,
yeah, I
if
think
you
it
want to
works
put
out.
this in the correct order, so how would we make this conversation? Of course, you don't have to write the whole sentence. Just give us the numbers again to make this conversation natural. So, Eulalia says the first one is number 4. Yes, I agree with you. So the doctor would say this: you don't look well, as in you don't look too good. You look sick. What's the problem?
Excuse me. Okay, excellent. Okay.
Yeah, nicely done. Then the patient, of course, I have a stomach ache and a fever, so the patient then explains what the problem is. There we go,
Oh,
Marcello. Great. 4-2. Wait, actually 4 it should be 4-1.
mm-hmm. Because what we're looking for the problem. So the problem is a stomach ache and a fever.
Yes. So here, I think maybe Celine got it. So 4-1, and then, ooh, maybe. Because see, Eulalia, so I think you're close because you said it hurts a lot, but that's the answer. What is the
Yeah,
question?
we need to swap.
Yeah, we need a question there. Also, so that way we're going doctor, patient, doctor, patient, doctor.
We believe in you guys. We know you can do this. Okay, so if it's not number 2, what is the question that we're missing?
I do want to say, Eulalia, really good job with these sequencing adverbs. You probably have done the focus at home a few times. That's
Yeah.
exactly what we do at first, second, next, then, finally.
Yeah, exactly.
Really nicely
Actually,
done.
I just noticed even though Marcelo doesn't have, okay, so he swapped it now. Fantastic. So he had 1, so 4, 1, and then this. Mm, 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 mm. So, okay, so we have some contradicting answers coming in.
Yeah. Celine definitely has it. And Marcello, yep,
Okay,
exactly. Which we're going to show you now. So,
perfect.
oh, wait, no, this is I keep getting confused by these. Okay, all right, so I guess Lisa and I would just read it in the correct order, okay, so you see how it makes
Mhm,
sense. So, imagine I am the doctor, Lisa, she walks into
mhm.
my office, and I say, you don't look too well. What's the problem?
I have a stomach ache and a fever.
I see. How much pain do you have?
It hurts a lot.
All right, so take these antibiotics, take them twice a day for 5 days, and don't eat spicy food and don't drink alcohol.
Okay, thank you, doctor. I know that's not there, but I just said thank you.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, we can do it. Like sometimes it's just add like little parts to the, I can just ask the questions like, okay, how much pain? I can't just be so abrupt.
Exactly.
Exactly. All right, and here's another one. So Lisa, if you want to be the doctor now, let's just read this.
Sure. Okay. So this is kind of actually, I think it's just added on to the end of what we had. So you don't look well. What's the problem?
So I have a stomach ache and a fever.
How much pain do you have?
It hurts a lot.
Take this antibiotic. Take it twice a day for 5 days. Don't eat spicy food and don't drink alcohol.
Thank you, doctor. Oh yeah, it totally is the same. I don't know why it looks so different. Maybe because it
It's
doesn't
because
thank you in the end. It's like, oh
they
no,
added thank
totally different
you.
conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So there we have twice a day. So remember twice, 2 times a day.
yeah. And then after that, it's once, twice, and then 3, 4, 5 times, etc., etc. Trying to think if there are any. We only have a couple minutes left. Any other words that could be good for us to consider? So if you are abroad, if you're in another country, you need, maybe not. You don't want to go to the doctor, because I understand that it'd be like the last thing you would do unless it's very, very serious. You really feel like you need to see a doctor. So you might need to go to the pharmacy. So that's a nice word you can use. But we do have some variations of that as well. For instance, in the US, it's more common to say the drugstore instead of pharmacy. And would you say chemist, Lisa?
Yeah, chemist in the UK sometimes.
Okay,
So sometimes they might say pharmacy, and then other ones would be called a chemist.
yeah. So here we go. Pharmacy, drugstore, chemist.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. And sometimes, for example, if you're in the pharmacy, they might ask you,
Mm,
can I help you? What is the problem? So similar to what we talked about there. And a lot of times we would say something like, I'm looking for something for my stomach ache, or I'm looking for something for a headache. Okay. If you're not sure what you're looking for. So I'm looking for something for a problem. Okay.
yeah,
Something for a problem.
then they can advise you. And then another one is that some medication, you might not be able to buy it directly at the pharmacy, because you need a doctor to give you a piece of paper. And we call that a prescription. So if you don't have a prescription, you cannot, for example, antibiotics, that's one of them. Like, you can never buy it just directly at the pharmacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. It's true. So yeah, if you don't have a prescription, because sometimes in different countries the rules can be different
Hmm.
between what you can buy. Like sometimes you need a prescription to buy. Like here, they can be very strict about
Yeah.
pain, some painkillers, um, which is funny because in some parts of England and Ireland, painkillers you can buy in a supermarket.
Yeah, exactly. Same in the US, like, and it's much cheaper. I always, when I go to the States, I always bring back a lot of medication because it's so cheap there. Um, and yeah, we would call that the also like over the counter, at least in the US, that's what we call it. It's things that you can just buy without a prescription. You just go and you pick it up. And actually, I know I've had lots of people who visited the States mention that our pharmacies, our drugstores, are quite an experience in itself, because it's almost like a supermarket. You can find everything there.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, just like even, well, there's only a couple of minutes left, but even if you've had an experience, like tell us if you've had a similar experience where you needed to go to a pharmacy or a doctor in another
Yeah.
country. It can happen. Unfortunately, it can happen. Have you, so Thiago, have you had this problem? Like I know you said when you were in America, but when you were on a holiday
Both
or a trip?
elsewhere. Trying to think. Yeah, I guess not. If I can't really think of an example, huh? Nothing serious, at least. I was quite afraid because last January I went to India for a wedding, and when I looked up what kind of shots, what kind of vaccines would be good to
Mhm.
have, it was too late to get them. And so I ended up traveling. I mean, I had all the required vaccines, but I think there were two different ones that were recommended that I didn't have.
Mhm.
And so I was just so worried about needing to go to the doctor.
Oh God,
And
get in
luckily,
trouble.
I didn't know. But I mean, obviously, I was like very, very careful. Even just like brushing my teeth, I was using like a water bottle. Because if you're just not used to it, if you go to a new place, a new country, there are just different bacteria, different viruses that your body cannot really fight.
Yeah.
So
It's true. And that's good vocabulary as well, like vaccines. Because sometimes if you travel a specific place, you need to get vaccines. And
Yeah, or
obviously,
shots.
exactly. I put it into the
Yeah, oh,
chat.
perfect. Great.
Yeah. So it's a specific type of injection to prevent an illness. Okay, that's everything, guys. Thank you so much for your fantastic participation. It's been
Yep.
lovely talking to you all.
Really good contribution. So thank you guys, and have a lovely week. I'm sure we'll see more of you at some point in the webinars, and also in your regular lessons that you've now started doing. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Have a nice
Excellent.
one, guys.
Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye
Well
bye.
done. Bye.